And we have another Tales of Tribute game here for your viewing pleasure. I'm going second this time. My opponent picks Psijic first. I pick Almalexia as usual, and I really love the Rajhin deck. It's just a very fun deck, generates a ton of gold, and has the ability to kill agents, which I really dislike losing to. My opponent goes Hlaalu, so this is a 6 gold game. I get 6 gold at the start, which means I could have bought, if they were available, any of the very powerful 6 cost cards. Unfortunately not available. In this case, my opponent should probably have bought the 4 cost one, which is 2 gold, rather than the Lesson of I Am, which doesn't actually give any gold whatsoever. No real reason for me to use the Almalexia hero power, I just want to get my economy going. So I now have 2 gold generating cards in my deck. My opponent only has 1, and now he has another one. My opponent only has 1 right now because he bought the Lesson of I Am first. This isn't very interesting at all. It's actually kind of garbage, so I'm just gonna wait and see if anything better can be picked. These are all terrible cards, especially that one. I mean, that's just nothing. House Marketplace, that is our #1 goal at the moment. We just need to get enough to get our 8 gold. So I think at this stage we just want to get our economy a bit better. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to buy it next turn, but neither does my opponent, I believe. Hand of Almalexia early is kind of pointless and unnecessary. Only reason why I bought it is to try to slow my opponent down. He forces him to sort of buy the Black Sacrament, and that might reveal a good card. It forces him to spend 2 gold on it, which is fine. To be honest, if you look at win conditions in this game, there's always Almalexia Philanthropy, but in this case, you can Hlaalu your way to victory as well, just as easily. Using the Hlaalu power, basically buying expensive cards and using the Hlaalu power over and over again to convert your gold into prestige is the other way I'm looking to win this game. So I just want to generate as much gold as possible. My opponent is not drawing anything good next turn. You can see it's all 1 gold card and like a single box that's worth 5 gold but doesn't actually generate money. And finally, I have the best card in the game, Currency Exchange. Well, not the best card in the game, but it's one of the best Hlaalu cards for sure, because it gives 5 gold, shuffles 1 Tavern card away, lets you potentially win via Patron Victory. Although in this case, Patron Victory is much harder to achieve because Psijic power is in play, so you need your opponent to play an agent essentially in order to even attempt to get it, which is fine. I unfortunately do not have enough, and my opponent actually has a possibility of getting House Marketplace just by looking at the top of his deck, so I'm not going to bother looking at that. In this particular instance, August Council is a reasonable pick. I was actually thinking of taking Hostile Takeover because it's a 5 cost, I can turn it into stuff. But in this case, oh my god, these are good cards. Unfortunately, I revealed the Dreaming Cave, which my opponent is probably going to pick up. Like I was saying, Hostile Takeover is a very meany card. Sometimes you get very, very lucky, and sometimes you just don't. And I don't think it's worth attempting to get it. Anyway, Currency Exchange. Let's start looking for good cards. Luxury Exports is actually quite good. It's actually quite good. I like it a lot. I can buy a Mournhold Clergy for basically it gives me 2 prestige, which is fine. At this stage, I'm trying to figure out, so far I actually haven't picked up a single card that's winning. It's kind of, we want to pick Almalexia cards or expensive cards. And in this case, I'm thinking, okay, let's just pick up an expensive card. Let's confine that and let's see what my opponent does, because he can probably use the Psijic power to defeat my Mournhold Clergy. But if he does, then he can't buy the Lesson of I Am. As you can see, he's probably gonna use Psijic power. No, he doesn't care. Well, that's fine. Mournhold Clergy gets me another 2 prestige this turn in that case, and I get to get the ever useful Rajhin agent killing card, which is always useful to have. Oh my god, that was a huge mistake. I didn't use the agent before sacrificing it. Yeah, that's just wrong. That's just very wrong. At this stage, I've decided my strategy for winning this game is going to be using the Hlaalu power over and over again, because my economy is basically a lot, like significantly higher than my opponent. I have luxury exports, I have the marketplace, so I'm just going to buy. My plan at this stage is just to buy the most expensive card possible, and once I draw expensive cards, just to sacrifice it to the Hlaalu patron power. And eventually, I'm actually very surprised my opponent shuffled that away. That's actually a really good card. a very good agent to have. So I'm not sure why he shuffled that away. Yeah, so my plan right now is just buy the most expensive card available, and once I draw them again, just sacrifice it. So in this case, I could pick Hostile Takeover. It's true. I got a couple of Hlaalu cards available, so Hostile Takeover is not an unreasonable pick. Other option is Stubborn Shadow, which combos with my Rajhin, and might slow him down a little bit. Time to screw my opponent a bit. I think the Kefir's Insight is probably the best card of that lot because I don't like him being able to scry through his deck and toss the bad cards to the bottom with the Psijic ability. Basically, I don't want him to be tossing his cards down. So this will slow him down a little bit. Tithe, interesting, but in this case, honestly, we're not really. He does manage to take away my House Marketplace again, but Tithe, unfortunately, doesn't really get us towards. Oh yeah, well I mean, yeah, Grand Larceny. What can I say? It's a good card. We can also try to screw my opponent a little bit, which is fine too. Don't want him to start cycling, and if he draws the agent, we also have ambush. We also drew our agent killing card, so that's fine. Dreaming Cave. I really wish I had the Dreaming Cave. It's so useful, and yeah, okay. So my opponent very happily is doing a lot of annoying things. In this case, it's an easy way to kill his agent, get a lot of gold, get this Tribute Sentinel down, and now I'm thinking, do I want to get a hand at Almalexia and confine his good card? Unfortunately, that means we got to get rid of the ambush in that case, and then I need to consider, can my opponent actually kill these things? To be honest, I think the answer to this question is yes, because Psijic power is available. He always has Psijic power available. It is, but then of course he would need to spend gold to kill it at the same time. So that is a very genuine cost. It's something interesting. I could definitely see keeping them on the field, but like I said, I think my win condition is sacrificing expensive cards to the Hlaalu hero power. So I sacrificed an 8 cost card, a 6 cost card. These are very good cards sacrificing, and my opponent's use of their Rajhin agent has caught up with me, so this is basically one turn where I don't do anything, regrettably. It's fine though. We can sacrifice that to get a little bit more prestige going, cycle through our deck a little bit more. Can't really get anything good here though. I don't think it's worth buying Time Mastery at this stage. I want to buy expensive cards. And finally I draw my currency exchange. My opponent has been doing a pretty good job of using Almalexia to put it at the bottom of my deck. Still okay. I mean, he leaves the ambush on the field, so I don't know what to say. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough power to, enough coin to buy it. So, I mean, I'm obviously going to buy the ambush to kill that relatively easily. We have a lot of gold. We got a Mournhold Clergy going. Ebony Mine, I think, gets us something. No, it doesn't. We don't combo, unfortunately. So we're just going to sacrifice, get a bit more power, ambush to kill the 2 of his agents. That's fine. I can try to sacrifice something because I'm actually pretty close to winning now. Or we can try to screw my opponent a bit by using Almalexia power, but to be honest, I think we're very, very close to winning. My opponent doesn't really have prestige killing cards in his deck, so basically every tiny bit that we get is going to win, and he reveals 2 imprisonments, which is excellent, and 1 sacrifice, and now we have exactly 40 prestige, and my opponent has no way to win. So yeah, very important. See how you're going to win. In this case, it's either the Hlaalu power for prestige or Almalexia philanthropy. In this case, we didn't really pick up philanthropy, so the only other way to win this game would be via the Hlaalu power. My opponent didn't really generate that much power, to be honest, so... and okay, I'm wrong. He managed to get 1 Jeering Shadow down, but we're kind of very, very far ahead, despite the fact that we lost... We're sacrificing even our best cards, basically, to just steam ahead for the win. But I mean, in this case, I think it, regardless, would be very hard for my opponent to manage to get together enough Rajhin powers together to win the game. Because like, look at that, he got -3. He got -3 in his deck right now, and we're at 46. So it's just not happening. Yeah, aggressive. I mean, Hlaalu is one of the strongest patrons available. Aggressive use of it can win you the game, which it clearly does in this case. Yeah. So another good win.